What if one book held the 7 secrets to a truly successful life? Today, I'm breaking them down for you in simple English, starting with the single habit that gives you absolute control over your future. If you are ready to transform your English and your life, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single step on this journey. Today, we are going to talk about a book that is very, very special to me. It is one of my favorite books of all time. I believe it has changed millions of lives around the world, and I know that if you listen carefully, if you understand its message deeply, and apply its lessons, it can change your life too. People often say that a good book is worth $1 million. Why? Because an author might spend their entire life learning, experiencing things, struggling through difficult times, and finally achieving success. And then that author gives you all of their wisdom, all of their life lessons in just one book. Think about this for a moment. If you had the chance to sit with a very successful person, a person you admire, and just listen to their experiences for a few hours, wouldn't that be life-changing? Of course it would. Well, that is exactly what a good book does. It gives you access to some of the best and wisest minds in the world. In our story today, I will explain this book in a very simple way. I will use easy examples and clear, deep explanations. My goal is that you not only understand the ideas, but that you also feel motivated, truly inspired to start using these habits in your own life. Because books are not just about information, they are about transformation. The advice in this book can completely change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you see the world. I have told you this before, but it is so important. All successful people read books. They read as much as they can. They do this because they know that books have a special power. They can shape your mindset, build your knowledge, and unlock new opportunities that you never saw before. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel. It will not only help you improve your English, but it will also help you develop a powerful mindset for success. The name of the book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I will take you on a journey through all 7 habits, one by one. Let's begin. The first habit is to be proactive. This habit is the foundation of all success. It is the starting point. Why? Because it teaches you that you are the one who is responsible for your life. You are the driver of your own car. So many people in the world live their lives just reacting to situations. They are not in control. If something bad happens, they immediately blame other people. If they fail at something, they complain about how unfair it is. If they don't get what they want, they simply give up. But successful people, effective people, do not do that. They take control. They understand a very important truth, even though they cannot control everything that happens in life, like the weather or what other people do. They can always control how they respond to those situations. They can control their own actions, their own feelings, their own choices. There are really 2 kinds of people in the world. First, there are reactive people. These people blame others for everything. If they fail an exam, they will say, "The teacher didn't teach us well." If they don't get a promotion at work, they say, "My boss is unfair. He doesn't like me." If they are feeling unhappy, they look at the sky and say, "Life is unfair." They truly believe that life is just happening to them, and they feel like they have no power, no control over it at all. It is a very sad way to live. Then there are the second kind of people, proactive people. These people take full and complete responsibility for their actions and their lives. If they fail an exam, they look at themselves and say, "I didn't study enough. I need to work harder next time." If they don't get a promotion, they think, "Okay, I need to improve my skills. I need to show my boss how valuable I am." And if they feel unhappy, they don't blame the world. They ask themselves a powerful question: what can I do to change my situation? Let's imagine two friends, James and Daniel. Their stories will make this idea very clear. James wakes up late almost every morning. The first thing he does is scroll through social media on his phone, and then he has to rush to get ready for work. One day, he gets stuck in a big traffic jam. He gets very angry, honking his car horn and blaming the traffic for making him late. When he finally gets to work, his boss is upset and scolds him. James feels angry and frustrated for the rest of the day. He feels like the world is against him. Daniel, on the other hand, is different. He wakes up early every morning. He does a little exercise, has a healthy breakfast, and leaves for work on time. He has a calm start to his day. Even if there is unexpected traffic, he remains calm. He listens to music or a podcast because he knows he made the right decision to leave early. He planned for problems. Now let me ask you, who do you think will be more successful in life, James or Daniel? It will be Daniel, of course. This is because he is proactive. He doesn't let outside situations like traffic control his feelings or his day. He is in charge. So how can you apply this first habit in your life? It starts today. First, stop blaming others. The moment you stop blaming your parents, your teachers, your boss, or society, you take back your power. You take control of your life. Second, take responsibility. Whatever happens in your life, good or bad, ask yourself, what can I do to make it better? And third, control your reactions. You cannot control what other people say or do, but you can always control how you respond. If you start practicing this simple habit, I promise you, your entire life will begin to change. Now let's move to the second habit. Habit 2 is begin with the end in mind. This habit teaches you that you must have a clear vision, a clear picture of what you want in your life. It's a simple but powerful idea. If you don't know where you are going, how will you ever know if you have arrived? How will you reach success if you don't even know what success looks like for you? Think about it like this. Imagine you are going on a long road trip in your car. Would you just get in the car and start driving without knowing your destination? Of course not. That would be silly. You would plan your route. You would look at a map. You would make sure you are going in the right direction. But it's amazing how many people don't do this with their own lives. They just wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, and then repeat the same cycle over and over again, day after day, without ever stopping to ask, where is my life going? The author of the book, Stephen Covey, says something very beautiful. He says that everything is created twice. First, it is created in the mind. Then it is created in reality. This means that before anything big happens in the real world, it first happens as an idea, a picture in someone's mind. Think about a tall building. Before that house is built, an architect first sits down and draws a blueprint. They imagine every room, every window, every door. The building is first created on paper in the mind. Before a big company like Apple or Amazon is created, the founder first imagines the business. They have a vision for what they want to build. And before a person becomes successful, they first visualize their success. They see it, feel it, and believe in it in their mind. Think about the famous footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo. When he was just a young boy in Portugal, he told his mother, "One day, I will be the best footballer in the world." He didn't just hope for it. He had a crystal clear vision in his mind. He saw himself as the best. And he worked every single day of his life to turn that powerful vision into his reality. So how can you apply this second habit in your life? First, you need to define your goals. What do you truly want in your life? Do you want to be a doctor, an entrepreneur, a great artist, A wonderful parent. Be specific. Don't just say, "I want to be happy." What does that look like next? Visualize your success. Every morning when you wake up, take just a few minutes. Close your eyes and imagine yourself already achieving your goals. Feel the emotions of success. See the world from that future place. This simple practice will program your mind to look for opportunities. And finally, make your decisions based on your vision. When you have a choice to make, ask yourself, does this action help me move closer to my goal? If something doesn't help you reach your goal, don't waste your precious time on it. Here is a powerful exercise. Imagine just for a moment that you are at your own funeral. The room is quiet. Your friends and family are there, and people are getting up to speak about you, to share memories of your life. What do you want them to say about you? Do you want them to say, "He was a hard-working person, he was kind, and he was successful in what he did"? Or do you want them to say, "He wasted his life, he was always distracted, and never finished what he started"? Your answer to this question will tell you exactly what kind of life you need to create starting today. If you start practicing this habit, you will feel a new sense of clarity, purpose, and direction in your life. This brings us to Habit 3. Put first things first. This habit is about managing your time and your life based on what is most important to you. Imagine I have a large, empty glass jar. And on a table next to it, I have a few things, some big rocks, some small pebbles, some sand, and a bottle of water. Your goal is to fit everything on the table inside the jar. How would you do it? If you start by pouring in the water and the sand first, and then you try to add the small pebbles, you will quickly discover that you have run out of space. The big rocks will not fit at the end. But what if you try a different way? What if you put the big rocks in the jar first, then you add the small pebbles, which will fall into the spaces between the big rocks. After that, you pour in the sand, which will fill the even smaller gaps. And finally, you pour in the water, which fills all the remaining space. And look, everything fits perfectly inside the jar. This jar is your life. The big rocks represent the most important things in your life. These are your health, your relationships with your family and friends, your biggest dreams, and your personal growth. The pebbles are the other things that matter, but they are not as critical. Things like your job, your finances, and your daily responsibilities. And the sand and water. They represent all the small distractions, things like scrolling on social media, unnecessary gossip, and wasting time on things that don't help you grow. Most people fill their life with sand and water first. They spend most of their time scrolling on their phones, watching hours of TV, worrying about what other people think, and chasing temporary pleasures. By the time they finally think about their big rocks, their dreams, their health, their relationships, there is no time or energy left. There is no space left in the jar. But highly successful people do the exact opposite. They put their big rocks in first. They always prioritize what truly matters most. To do this, you need to understand the difference between what is important and what is urgent. There are two main types of tasks in our lives. First, there are tasks that are urgent but not important. Things like replying to messages, instantly attending meetings that are not necessary, or doing small tasks that other people pressure you to do right now. Second, there are tasks that are important but not urgent. Things like exercising, spending quality time with your family, reading books that help you grow, or working on your big dreams. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to urgent things. If the phone rings, they feel they must pick it up immediately. If someone sends them a message, they feel they have to reply right away. They live in a constant reaction mode. But successful people learn to prioritize the important things first. They schedule their important tasks. They put their gym time, their reading time, and their self-improvement time into their calendar. They focus on what truly makes a difference in the long run. Let's imagine two brothers, John and David. John wakes up in the morning, and the very first thing he does is check his phone. He starts replying to messages, scrolling through Instagram, and watching random videos. Before he even gets out of bed, he has already wasted an hour of his morning. David, on the other hand, wakes up and immediately works on his goals. He does 20 minutes of exercise, he reads a chapter of a book, and he spends 30 minutes learning a new skill for his career. He starts his day with a sense of purpose. After 1 year, who do you think will be more successful? Of course, it will be David. Why? Because he put first things first. John was busy, yes, but he was not productive. He was just reacting to life instead of controlling it. David, however, focused on the things that truly mattered for his future. So how do you apply this powerful habit in your life? First, write down your big rocks. What are the 3 or 4 most important things in your life right now? Is it your health? Your family? Starting a business? Make a list. Then schedule them first. Don't leave these important things for later. If you don't schedule them, I promise you life will get in the way and you will never find the time. And finally, learn to say no to distractions. If something doesn't help you reach your goals, you need to eliminate it. If you can master this one habit, you will become truly unstoppable. Next, we have Habit 4. Think win-win. This is a habit about our mindset in relationships and collaborations. Most people live with what we call a scarcity mindset. They believe that life is like a pie, and if someone else takes a big piece, there is less for them. If someone else wins, they feel like they have lost. If a friend gets a promotion, they feel jealous inside. If someone they know becomes successful, they feel insecure. But highly effective people think differently. They think win-win. They have an abundance mindset. They understand that success is not limited. Just because someone else wins does not mean you have to lose. Think about sunlight. If one person goes outside and enjoys the warm sun on their face, does it mean there is less sunlight for others? No, of course not. There is plenty of sun for everyone. Think about knowledge. If you learn something new and you share it with your friends, does it mean you now have less knowledge? No. In fact, sharing it helps you understand it even better. The world is full of abundance, full of opportunities for those who have the right mindset. There are generally 3 types of people when it comes to interaction. First, there are win-lose people. These people always want to win even if it means that other people must lose. They are very competitive. They don't care about what is fair. They only care about their own success. Second, there are lose-win people. These are the opposite. They always sacrifice themselves for others. They let people take advantage of them. They never stand up for themselves, and they rarely fight for what they deserve. And then there is the third type, win-win people. These people believe in mutual success. They look for solutions where everyone can benefit. They help others, they share opportunities, and they create powerful partnerships where everyone wins. Imagine you are working on a group project at school or at work. There are 2 ways you can approach it. The first is the win-lose approach. You try to take all the credit for the good ideas. You try to do most of the work yourself, so you look like the hero, and you refuse to share the spotlight. What happens? Your team members feel unmotivated, they don't want to help you, and in the end, the project suffers. The second way is the win-win approach. You encourage your teammates. You might say, "That's a great idea, Sarah." You divide the tasks fairly, and you help each other succeed. Everyone feels appreciated, everyone works hard, and the project becomes a huge success. Which approach do you think will lead to better results in the long run? It's win-win every time. Win-win people build strong relationships, powerful networks, and amazing long-term success. A win-win boss helps his employees grow, and so they stay loyal and motivated. A win-win business owner focuses on creating great value for his customers, and so his business thrives. A win-win leader creates opportunities for others, so he becomes respected and influential. Selfish people may win a few small battles in the short term, but they always lose the war in the long run. How can you apply this in your life? It starts with a simple choice. Stop competing with others. Your journey is your journey. Success is not a competition. There is enough success for everyone. In every situation, every negotiation, every disagreement, look for mutual benefits. Ask yourself this question: how can we both win here? And finally, support other people. Celebrate their successes. The more you help others get what they want, the more you will find that you get what you want. The world is not a battlefield. Life is not about winners and losers. It is about creating opportunities where everyone can win together. If you develop a win-win mindset, you will build stronger relationships, achieve greater success, and live a much more fulfilling life. Let's talk about habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This habit is maybe one of the most important for building wonderful relationships. One of the biggest reasons people fail in their relationships in business and in life is because they don't truly listen. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. This is a very important difference. When someone else is talking, they are not really listening. They are just waiting for their turn to speak. In their head, they are thinking about their own opinion, their next response, their argument. They don't actually hear what the other person is saying, or more importantly, what they are feeling. But successful people, effective communicators, do the exact opposite. They seek first to understand. They listen deeply. Then and only then do they try to be understood. Why is this habit so powerful? Let me give you an example. Imagine a doctor who prescribes medicine before diagnosing the disease. Imagine a patient walks into the doctor's office and says, "Doctor, I have a terrible pain in my stomach." And the doctor immediately says, "Okay, here, take this pill." Without asking any questions, without understanding the cause of the pain. That would be very dangerous, right? Yet this is exactly what we do in our conversations every day. We give advice before we understand the problem. We judge people before we understand their story. We assume we know everything without actually hearing what is going on. And because of this, relationships break down, misunderstandings grow, and people feel alone and unheard. There are 4 different levels of listening. The first level is ignoring. This is when you pretend to listen, but you are actually distracted. You might be nodding your head saying, "Uh-huh," but your mind is somewhere else completely. The second level is selective listening. This is when you only hear the parts of the conversation that interest you, and you ignore everything else. The third level is attentive listening. Here you are, paying attention, and you hear all the words the person is saying, but you don't feel the emotions behind them. You understand the information, but not the person. The fourth and highest level is empathic listening. This is when you listen deeply. You don't just hear the words, you understand the feelings, the emotions, and the perspective of the other person. You listen with your heart, not just your ears. Most people only ever reach level 2 or 3. But if you want to be truly effective in your life, you must learn to practice empathic listening. Here is a powerful example. Imagine a teenage boy comes home from school looking very sad. He throws his bag on the floor and says to his father, "I hate school. I want to drop out." Now most parents would immediately react. They might say, "What, that's a ridiculous idea. You must study. Stop being so lazy. You don't understand how life works. If you drop out, you will fail in life." They react with anger and fear, but they never ask why the child feels this way. Now imagine a parent who practices habit 5. Instead of reacting, the father stays calm and says, "Wow, I can see that you're really upset. Tell me what's going on. Help me understand why you feel this way." Can you feel the difference? The child now feels heard. He feels safe. So he opens up. He might say, "Dad, I'm being bullied at school every day. I feel so alone, and I don't understand anything in my math class." Now, instead of shouting and fighting, there is connection. There is understanding. The parent now understands the real issue, and now they can actually help their son. This is the incredible power of listening. How can you apply this in your life? It's simple, but not easy. The next time someone talks to you, listen with the only intention of understanding them. Don't think about your response. Just listen. Put yourself in their shoes. Ask yourself, how do they feel right now? Why do they think this way? And ask deeper questions. Instead of jumping to give advice, ask questions like, "Tell me more about that," or "What do you mean?" or "How do you feel about it?" The moment you start truly listening with your heart, your relationships will transform. People will trust you more. They will open up to you, and you will become a person of great influence and connection. This leads us to habit 6, synergize. This habit is the secret of unstoppable teams, powerful relationships, and extraordinary success. Synergy is a beautiful idea. It means that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It means that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It can equal 3 or 10 or even 100. Imagine 2 people are trying to move a very large rock. If they each push on the rock separately at different times, they might struggle and fail. The rock is too heavy, but if they push together at the same time in the same direction, the rock moves easily. That is synergy. Their combined effort is much more powerful than their individual efforts. Why do most people fail at this? Most people struggle with synergy because they want to do everything alone. They have a mindset that says, "If I want something done right, I have to do it myself." They think, "I can't trust other people," or "No one can do it as well as I can." But this way of thinking is very limiting. It puts a ceiling on your success. The most successful people in the world understand the incredible power of teamwork. They know that when the right people come together with the right attitude, they can achieve miracles. There are 3 stages of human development. First, there are dependent people. These people rely on others for everything. They wait for help, they blame others for their failures, and they never take control of their own life. This is where we all start as children. Second, there are independent people. These people take full responsibility for their life. They are strong, confident, and self-reliant. They often believe they don't need anyone else. Our society often celebrates this. But there is a higher level. The third stage is interdependent people. These people are both strong and collaborative. They are independent enough to get things done on their own, but they are wise enough to know that they can achieve much more by working with others. They share ideas, they collaborate, and they create something bigger than themselves. Most people think independence is the final goal, but interdependence is where the real magic happens. It is the ultimate form of success. Imagine you are building a house. If you try to do it all by yourself, the design, the foundation, the electricity, the plumbing, it would take you years, and the result probably wouldn't be very good. But if you have a team of experts, an architect, an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter working together, the house gets built much faster, much better, and much stronger. That is synergy. Synergy is the reason why great companies exist. Steve Jobs did not build Apple alone. Elon Musk does not build rockets alone. Every great success story you can think of is a story of a great team effort. So how do you apply this habit in your life? First, work with people who complement your strengths. This means finding people who are good at the things you are not good at. If you are a person with great ideas, but you are weak at execution, find a partner who is great at making things happen. Second, you must respect different perspectives. Don't see differences as problems. See them as strengths. If someone has a different opinion, don't argue. Listen. Learn from it. Their different view might show you something you missed. And finally, always think win-win like we learned in Habit 4. The best partnerships and teams are created when both sides benefit and grow together. The most successful people in the world don't try to do everything alone. They build powerful partnerships, strong teams, and valuable relationships. The moment you start to effectively work with others, you will achieve far more than you ever could alone. And finally, we arrive at Habit 7, sharpen the saw. Imagine you are a woodcutter and your job is to cut down trees. Every day, you go into the forest. On the first day, you start with a very sharp saw, and cutting the trees feels easy. But as time passes, day after day, your saw becomes dull. The blade is not sharp anymore. You have to push harder and harder, using more and more effort just to cut a single tree. You become tired and frustrated. What should you do? You have two options. Option 1 is to just keep struggling with the dull saw, working harder and harder, getting more and more exhausted. Option 2 is to stop for a little while, sharpen the saw, and then go back to cutting trees with much less effort. Which option is smarter? Option 2, of course. But in the busyness of life, most people never sharpen their saw. They just work and struggle and push themselves to the point of exhaustion, but they never take the time to renew themselves, to recharge, and to grow. Habit 7 is all about self-renewal. It means you must take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You must do this so that you can keep growing, keep improving, and keep winning in the game of life. To be truly successful for a long time, you need to regularly sharpen your saw in 4 key areas. The first area is physical renewal. This means taking care of your body. Your body is your greatest and most important tool. If you don't take care of it, everything else in your life will suffer. Think of a beautiful, expensive car. If you never change the oil, never check the tires, and never do any maintenance, what will happen? One day, the car will break down on the side of the road. The same thing will happen with your body. If you don't take care of it one day, it will stop working the way you want it to. How do you sharpen your physical saw? Exercise daily. This doesn't mean you need to go to a gym for 2 hours. It can be a simple walk in the park, some stretching in the morning, or anything that keeps your body active. Eat healthy food. Your food is your fuel. If you put junk food into your body, it will slow you down. And get enough sleep. A tired mind and a tired body cannot achieve greatness. Rest is not a waste of time. It is a recharge. A weak body leads to a weak mind. Weak energy and weak results. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you. The second area is mental renewal. This means feeding your mind with knowledge. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant good seeds like positive thoughts, new knowledge, and wisdom, you will grow a beautiful garden. But if you neglect your mind, then weeds will take over. Weeds like negativity, ignorance, and fear. Most people stop learning after they finish school. They never read another book, they never challenge their thinking, and they never try to upgrade their knowledge. And then they wonder why they feel stuck in their lives. How do you sharpen your mental saw? Read books. Every book is like having a mentor, a wise teacher teaching you things that took them years to learn. Learn new skills. The world is changing so fast. The more you learn, the more you can grow and adapt. And always question your beliefs. Never assume that you know everything. Stay curious, like a child. Your future success depends on how much you invest in your mind today. The third area is emotional renewal. This is about strengthening your relationships and finding your inner peace. It doesn't matter how rich, smart, or successful you are. If your relationships are weak, your life will feel empty. Humans are emotional beings. We need love, connection, and support from others. But in today's world, people are becoming more and more disconnected. They spend hours on their phones, but they have no real deep conversations. How can you sharpen your emotional saw? Spend quality time with your loved ones. Don't wait until it's too late. Cherish the people in your life today. Learn to forgive and let go. Holding on to anger and grudges is like drinking poison yourself and expecting the other person to suffer. And surround yourself with positivity. Stay away from toxic people who complain all the time and drain your energy. A happy heart is a strong heart. Build meaningful relationships, and your life will be rich in ways that money can never buy. The fourth and final area is spiritual renewal. This is about connecting with your purpose and your values. Success is not just about money and achievements. It's also about feeling a sense of purpose, meaning, and inner peace. Have you ever seen or heard of rich people who are deeply unhappy and feel lost? It is often because they achieved everything on the outside, but they forgot to take care of their spirit on the inside. How do you sharpen your spiritual saw? Spend some time in silence every day. You can meditate, you can pray, or you can simply sit quietly and reflect on your life. Do things that give you meaning. Maybe it's helping other people, creating something beautiful, or making a difference in your community. And stay true to your values. Don't lose yourself in the race for success. When your spirit is strong, no challenge in life can break you. Why is this final habit 7 the ultimate key to success? Think of a new smartphone. It can be the latest model, the best phone in the world with amazing features. But if its battery is dead, it is completely useless. The same is true for you. You can have big goals, big dreams, and big plans. But if your personal energy is low, if your motivation is gone, and if your mind is exhausted, you will not be able to do anything. This is why sharpening the saw is the habit that makes all the other habits possible. It ensures that you stay strong, stay sharp, and stay unstoppable for the long journey of life. So now we have completed our journey through all 7 habits. Let's quickly remember them. 1. Be proactive. Take full control of your life. 2. Begin with the end in mind. Have a clear vision for your future. 3. Put first things first. Prioritize what truly matters. 4. Think win-win. Build success for yourself and for others. 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Listen deeply before you speak. 6. Synergize work with others to create greatness. And 7. Sharpen the saw. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep improving yourself. These habits are not just quick tips or simple tricks. They are a blueprint, a map for building an extraordinary life. If you apply them, you won't just become successful in your career. You will become a leader, an inspiration to others, and a force of unstoppable positive power. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They complain about their problems and their lives, but they never do anything to change them. But you have a choice. You can either stay where you are, making excuses for why you can't succeed, or you can take these 7 habits, apply them every single day, and start to build a life of true success, happiness, and deep purpose. The decision is yours. If you are ready to transform your life, please start today. Start now. Because your future self, the best version of you, is waiting for you to begin. Thank you for listening.